back to another episode of the Deals for Dentists podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Block. As always, I want to inspire, entertain, and educate you on the best tools and technologies out there. And my goal is to help make your practice and career more profitable, efficient, and most importantly, more enjoyable. And check out my latest book, Stress-Free Dental Implants, and my first book, The Stress-Free Dentist. And both can be found on Amazon or thestressfreedentist.com. And also check out my upcoming personal development retreat for dentists called Roses and Thorns. And you can find information at dentalgrowthcon.com. It'll be in Chicago on May 18th to May 20th, 2023. And we'll dig into everyone's strengths and weaknesses, and we're going to hold everyone accountable with their goals and intentions. And it's going to be an all-inclusive event. So you just have to get yourself there, and we hope to see you there. And you can check it out, dentalgrowthcon.com. But enough about me. Let's get to our superstar guest here. I have Allison Lacoursiere with me. Allison, did I say that right?
You did. You nailed it.
Awesome. I was practicing that in my head. So, Allison, thank you so much for joining us. Where are you zooming in from today?
I am currently in Panama. I'm at kind of a surf retreat, working and surfing and learning Spanish right now.
That sounds way cooler than Acton, Massachusetts, but awesome. Allison, thank you so much for joining us. Allison Lacoursiere is a professional coach with a focus on leadership and worthiness. As the founder of Clear Coaching, she's an expert in helping doctors and teams step into their greatest potential through powerful communication and mindset strategies. Allison, there's actually so much I want to get to with your story and all you have to offer. But first, I just want to ask you how you got into dentistry.
So I really wanted to travel when I was younger. We didn't grow up with a lot of money. And so dentistry was like the path for me to have a career that I could travel with. I didn't want to travel and, bartend or work in a restaurant or anything like that. I wanted a career. And so I was choosing between being a nurse, being a teacher, and a dental assistant. And I actually chose a dental assistant because I was like, 10 months, I can come out with a career. Let me do that. And then as soon as I graduated, I moved to Bermuda when I was 19 to work in a practice there.
And how long did you actually work in the dental field for?
Over a decade. I got certified as a orthodontic assistant pretty much immediately, waiting to get to Bermuda. And then when I got to Bermuda, I became the treatment coordinator and then the office manager. And I ended up staying at that practice for 10 years, hired a new team, systemized everything. And then during the pandemic, I actually decided to step into coaching full time.
Okay. So you, once the pandemic hit, then you kind of switched gears. Would you consider yourself a life coach?
Yes, I would. I would say that I'm a life coach and a dental consultant. And I like to keep those two kind of separate, because a coach is someone that helps you internally understand what's getting in the way of your success, understand like internal barriers, internal blocks, really works on your mindset. And a consultant teaches you kind of a path that's already been proven. And so in many ways, I have proven a path in dentistry when it comes to systems, and I consult on that, but I very much start at the beginning with all of my dental clients, where we focus on the vision, the mission, the values, the internal structure, the internal framework of what's going on in the dentist's mind before we get into any pathways or systems or structures.
So actually, can you explain the difference between a life coach and a psychotherapist or a therapist that a lot of people think of?
Yeah, definitely. So during my coaching certification, that's something that we were very attuned to. It's something that was really important, that as a professional coach, you learn when you meet a client that you need to understand if they should be recommended to a therapist. And so a therapist is somebody that will go back into the past and understand trauma, understand beliefs created and formed in your childhood, and in the earlier parts of your life, or even just any kind of traumatic experience that you've been through, and help you make a different meaning about them. Or a coach specifically will draw a line in today and focus on the future. So we'll understand different beliefs and mindsets, but we don't dive into the nitty gritty, the crunchiness of that. We focus more on where are we going? How do we get there? What's getting in the way? And how do we reframe the beliefs and thoughts that you have in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve?
Okay. So you don't really get into like a In fact, you call it clients, not a really a patient, because you're not really going back into their childhood or prescribing medication. This is really kind of moving from the here into the future, and figuring out how to move forward, setting goals and intentions, and kind of getting unstuck. Would you say
Yeah,
is that correct?
100%. I like to use the analogy when it comes to working with a therapist and a coach. And very often, the clients that I work with will have a therapist and a coach, because the therapist is going to kind of pull out everything that's in your brain, all of the way you are, the reasons why, and they kind of just leave it there for you to understand and process. And a coach is going to pick it up and help you make sense of it and help you decide what you want to create in the future. So a coach will kind of put those pieces back together and then help you step towards the future and the things that you want, um, for you and for your life.
So, do you help people that are not in the dental industry with life coaching? So, your clients are not dentists or hygienists. They're people that are in other industries as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first went, I had a coach, I had a dental coach, and she changed my life completely. I had been taking so many courses and trying to understand how to be a great manager and a great leader. And then I had a professional coach, and she was amazing. So it really inspired me to go and get my professional coaching certification. So I did that while I was managing my practice. In the first day, the first weekend of my class, I realized this is what I meant to do. I'm so aligned for this purpose to be a coach. It's just like absolutely my passion, my purpose. And so from there, I started getting clients almost immediately while I was in my coaching certification for that whole year. And outside of that, I was still working in my practice, but just a better manager because I knew how to coach as a manager. And I had clients for years kind of leading up to when I decided to go full time into coaching. And even now, I've worked with lawyers, I've worked with physicians, I've worked with HR professionals, really anyone that's in business or is in life can benefit from a coach.
Yeah, it sounds like anyone that is in business or has a high performing job that can get stuck and needs help. Can
Mhm.
you explain what Clearly IG is?
Yeah. So when I started in dentistry, I was just really interested in how do we effectively communicate to our patients to market our practice. And I learned that there was not a lot of companies out there that were doing a great job when it came to specifically Instagram marketing. And I love Instagram marketing because it really helps us educate our patients on what we do as dentists, kind of like reframes dentistry if we do this well. And so I had so many dental practices asking me how to get on social media, how to do this well, that I actually pulled in one of my great friends, a designer, and we started Clearly IG together. And it's a marketing agency for the dental profession that helps them with education based marketing, authentic content, and really showing up on social media in a way that works today. And when I say it works today, it means that there's a lot of video content and a lot of authentic, organic content that comes from our clients. So I kind of have taken my coaching skill set to help people get confident on video and get confident in their messaging and get clear on their vision so that they can actually just take all of that and put it onto the social media platform to better educate why a patient should choose them, and really what their practice is all about.
Can you explain what organic means and authentic is? Does that mean it's not like stock video
Yes.
or stock images?
Exactly. So social media went through a phase where stock images actually worked. They,
Hmm.
were converting. Today, they absolutely do not. In fact, they hurt your business if you're only posting stock images. Social media is all about trust and building relationships, and people can kind of smell through anything that's not true or real or authentic pretty quickly these days. And so when I say authentic content, it means that I show up as me on my page, not as pretending to be someone else or just hiding behind stock imagery or design content.
Yeah, especially with if you're trying to get new patients, a dentist, especially, a patient is looking to see if you're a dentist that they can trust.
Mhm.
So I think that is so important. Are you someone that the patient is gonna get to know, like, and trust, so that they will become a new patient?
Yeah.
So do you specifically focus on Instagram? Would you say is that like your wheelhouse versus like TikTok or YouTube Shorts or stories?
Yeah, so we have always focused on Instagram, and Instagram still has that patient base that we're wanting to talk to, which is like our millennial mom who makes a lot of decisions in the household for their parents, their family, their children. And so that millennial mom lives on Instagram still. And that's the person that is more easily to convert into actually calling the office to book that appointment. TikTok is relevant, Facebook is relevant, depending on what your business is, LinkedIn is relevant. It's just like knowing what your goals are and how to show up in a place that your ideal audience is going to be and resonate with your message. And so we've always been a part of Instagram because that's been kind of the relevant platform in social media right now when it comes to our clients and their clients. But we're cracking into YouTube Shorts, and we're cracking more into LinkedIn and TikTok for our influencer clients. So clients like you would be well served on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube Shorts as well.
It's so true. Like the millennial mom is like the decision maker for the household, and they're on Instagram.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
true. But if your office is looking to promote more, you know, overdentures or dentures or all on four cases, that's not your targeted clientele.
yeah.
Okay, so tell me
The
about
interesting thing, it's something that's really interesting because we ran a promotion for All on Fours. And it literally was a picture of somebody like holding up a steak and saying, like, do you wish you could eat this again? And like a millennial son went and booked an appointment to the practice because like my dad always talks about how he wants to eat steak and I want to get an appointment. So it's like it was really an interesting connection. So there are kind of like, again, the millennial decision makers are helping their parents make some of these decisions.
so true. The millennial mom and the millennial son, they have parents and their parents want to
Hmm.
eat. That's such a great point. Okay, and so I see a lot of times in your descriptions the word clear. You use the word clear a lot. So explain why you titled one of your companies Clear Coaching.
So when I first started as a coach, I was focusing mostly on clear aligners because that was the system that I was able to build in my practice in Bermuda that was just really robust and profitable. And it kind of emulated the empowerment that I wanted to see in other practices where it was a procedure that we could kind of offload from the dentist onto the team member. And I did that as a orthodontic assistant for many years. So the coaching company, when I first started it, was a professional life coaching company with a focus on clear aligner systemization. And so for the last few years, I've been on the Align faculty and I've been educating thousands of team members all over North America and helping them become a clear aligner leader and helping systemize practices. And so that name really kind of fit for both things. I feel like coaches help people get clarity on where they're going, what's getting in the way, what they want, what their future looks like, and then the clear aligner aspect. Clear coaching was born.
And what about Clearly Worthy?
Yeah, so I just started to run with the name, like Clearly IG, Clear Coaching, now Clearly Worthy. After coaching thousands of team members in dentistry over the last couple of years, I just noticed this through line when it came to confidence, specifically in women. And I found just through my own kind of experiences and through coaching all of these women that there's one lever that we can pull or push forward to help women just 10x their growth, their confidence, their mindset, their skill set, and that is the feeling of worthiness. Feeling worthy to say no, to hold boundaries, to say yes, to speak up, to live really kind of the life and the boldness that they deserve. It's the feeling of being worthy of having that, the feeling of being worthy of love, the feeling of being worthy of asking for a raise or saying, I need some time for myself. And it's something that I've just inherently seen women struggle with. And so I developed a curriculum and a coaching program to help women overcome that barrier to feel more worthy so that they could step into the life and the career and the love and all of the things that they want, but they don't feel worthy of having.
Wow. Now, what do you think it is? What do you think gets in the way of people not feeling confident or worthy? What do you think happens there?
I mean, there's so many things that contribute to it. And I mean, something we've learned in my coaching certification was that we all have this enoughness complex. Like, I'm not smart enough. I'm not successful enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not attractive enough. And I think society can perpetuate it by, social media. It's easier to compare, which doesn't help anybody. But it also, especially when it comes to women, is women have a tendency to kind of question themselves a little bit more. Where, like, when we look at the statistics of if a woman feels like they're qualified for a job, unless they're 100% qualified, they're not going to apply. Whereas men, they'll be like 40, not 40, I think it was like 60% qualified, they'll still apply. So it's this just like this tendency to kind of hold ourselves back in our mindset, not our skill set. It's just in our mindset that allows us to not kind of step into those leadership roles or have the confidence to ask for what we want. And this can occur from a lot of things that happen in your childhood, or kind of like the societal norms of, little girls are meant to behave and be quiet and be polite. But if you like are really loud and unruly, it's not really acceptable. And so a lot of, millennial women grew up with that kind of mentality or that growing up. But yeah, there's things that kind of get in the way of that. And it's something that I've just seen consistently through the industry. I mean, our industry is full of women. And so it's been something that's been just the greatest joy for me to help, push that dial forward and help people step into their, most aligned and most confident self.
Oh, that's so great. What about success in general? Like you're into so many things, you're into marketing, you're coaching, you're uh, part of line faculty. What is it that makes you, so successful? What is it within you that has made you an entrepreneur and a successful entrepreneur?
I really am passionate about impact and passionate about helping people just be, I don't want to say their best self, but just their most confident self or their happiest self. And I think that's been the underlying force behind everything that I've done. When I was an office manager, I wanted my team to grow and step into that, like that self where they just were their truest and best. And that's, I feel so passionate, and I love that I have the skill set as a coach to be able to do that. And so in my kind of entrepreneurial journey and how I become almost a serial entrepreneur is just seeing a problem and recognizing that I have the skill set and I know people that would have the skill set to be able to solve it and fix it to make our industry better. And that's my goal. Like I want, when I started my business, I was like, I want to flip the industry on its head. I want less stress. I want more joy. I want more empowerment. I want team members to feel more satisfied in their role. I want doctors to be better leaders so that they can reduce their stress and make more money and have a happier time in dentistry. And so I really came out of the year with a very big passion to change our industry and to help people be their happiest, most aligned self. And I get so lit up by that, everything that I've done, it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of mistakes, a lot of stress, of course, when you're starting businesses. But the thing that really keeps me going is when you can just change someone's life and you see when you change their life, it creates this ripple effect that happens throughout their family and their team. And that makes me just so excited for the work that I'm doing and so aligned with what I'm doing. And it doesn't feel difficult.
Well, that's awesome. All right, I'm going to wrap things up with a two-part question. Number one, how do we get a hold of you, and how do we find out more about what you're up to? And the second question is, what advice would you give to a young entrepreneur?
Mm-hmm. So the first one, you can reach out to me at Allison, Allison, at yourclearalignercoach.com. You can find me on Instagram. Allison Lacoursiere is my name on Instagram. And then you can find me at Your Clear Aligner Coach on Instagram as well. And the advice that I would give a young entrepreneur, and this is not in any way a shameless plug because I did this is exactly what I did. When I first started my business, I took 30% of what I earned and I invested it back into coaching, because what I see is that the one thing that stops us all the time is the way that we're thinking about our problems or the way that we're thinking about ourselves. And so if we can give ourselves the best shot of being confident, of being positive, of being optimistic, of being sure of ourselves, that's going to help you get through everything else in your business so much faster. It's not about your skill set, it's about your mindset. So if you can invest in someone to help you with that mindset and you become resilient and robust and basically unstoppable as an entrepreneur if you're excited about what you're doing. So young entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs, invest in a coach or someone to help you and support your mindset so that you can do things faster, easier, and have more fun along the way.
Wow. And keep positive people around you. I think if you keep anyone negative around you is just an energy and time waste. So Allison, so many great gems. Thank you so much for joining us. I think you've helped so many people out there, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.